This is Camera B and we're reviewing Deadpool.
A former Special Forces operative undergoes horrible experiments, leaving him with accelerated healing powers and adopting the alter ego Deadpool.
Okay, what did you expect going in then?
Well, I knew about Deadpool from his comics, so I knew he did a lot of fourth wall breaking, so I was expecting that, and I was wondering how they were going to incorporate that into it, but I also knew it was a Marvel film, so I was a bit skeptical.
So I should probably state for the record now, I'd never seen a superhero film before, other than The Incredibles, and I'd never seen a Marvel film before, at all. So I had really no expectation, apart from what I'd heard in the media, which was that it was kind of a film for fans, you know, that was silly and didn't take itself too seriously. So let's go through it bit by bit then. Start off first with cinematography and the opening scene. There was like a car and the camera was moving through this car that was frozen in time. That was amazing.
Lovely shot, yes.
Presumably it was all done in CG, but it was kind of, it was slow, it fit in with the music, and then they had the titles coming up as well, where it said like, you know, an overpaid guy for the director, that sort of thing. It told you so much about what you would expect over the next however many hours, you know, hour and a half, that I just loved that opening.
Yeah, it's set up action film, but also quite self-referential.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, the cinematography throughout, it looked good, but it was kind of what I would imagine is standard for a superhero type film, at least.
Yeah, it was pretty standard. I think they did a better job displaying the action than other Marvel films have done.
Yeah, because I've heard criticisms before of films where there's a lot of action going on that you kind of lose what's going on and it's just a blur. You could see what everybody was doing. And yeah, so that is good cinematography, but still, it's not a case of you say, wow, never seen that before, kind of thing.
No. The cinematography wasn't the highlight of the film. It was what the cinematography was capturing, and it did it clearly enough.
Which is fine in itself, you know? That's fine for a film like this. Sound and music then, the next thing. I think it was pretty good, you know? There were the loud bits when loud things were happening. It was quiet at times as well.
Yeah, but it was pretty good sound mixing there. Pretty good soundtrack too. It was okay. Nothing spectacular again, but nothing that makes me think that it shouldn't have been done that way.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, this is going to be the theme I'm sure we're going to see as we go through, but for something that was like, you know, we're being an obvious silly film here, that's fine. You don't want it to be groundbreaking on every aspect. So next thing then, script. This is where things got a bit better. I thought it was a good script.
It was a very good script, yes. There's a lot of fourth wall breaking, which is exactly what you would expect from a character like this in a film like this. I think they handled it very well. I don't think they overused it, but I do feel like if you were looking for a criticism, the fourth wall breaking might be one. You might consider it being used too much.
It's difficult with something like this though, when it's something that doesn't take itself seriously and is presenting it as, you know, you wanted it, we gave you it, tough kind of thing. It's hard to criticise something like that because it could be entirely intentional, the same as when there are those sort of cheesy lines during the torture scene, that sort of thing. Yeah, it was fairly obvious that was what was going on and it's what it wanted to be.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone can watch this film and complain about it until they've thought about it quite a lot and tried to come up with a complaint.
Acting then. So in something like this, I thought the acting was pretty good most of the time.
I think that it was very well done. Ryan Reynolds did a fantastic job as Deadpool. I completely believed his wit as being completely naturally flowing from him.
Yeah, you're right. My criticism then, it's not really of the main characters, it's more of the supporting characters. So TJ Miller, I thought he did a great job as the barman. That was fine. Kind of the villains in the background, they were a bit, I wasn't sure. And my big thing is Francis, the big English villain in it. I wasn't sure about that, but then when I start to think about it now, I think, was he just playing the stereotypical English villain, in which case his acting was completely on point, or was it just not very good?
Yeah, and I feel like he was supposed to be like that, because he did say, you never survive something like this and survive with a sense of humour. So I think he was just playing the I'm a super serious guy without a sense of humour.
The rest of the cast, yeah, I thought they were really good. The actress who played Vanessa, I thought that was completely convincing, although I still saw Inara from Firefly.
Yeah. I did at first. I also saw her from Homeland. But yeah, she was very convincing. I liked her. And she doesn't seem to age.
No, she doesn't know at all. I don't know how that happens.
And Metal Man and Fire Teenager Girl, they weren't okay. I mean, I get that they were supposed to be X-Men, so they were supposed to be boring by the books people, But yeah, they were still boring anyway to me.
Yeah, I think it's probably them that take it down from, yeah, the acting was all good in my head to like, yeah, you know, some of it was good, the rest of it was just okay, because, yeah, but their performances, maybe they were doing exactly what they should have been doing in a film like that. It's hard to know with this. It's going to be hard to know with anything, really.
Yeah, exactly, when it's supposed to be so self-referential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we should probably move on to plot then. And basically, the plot is pretty much silly throughout, and yet at the same time, it's fairly solid.
Yeah, very well paced. They grabbed your attention right from the beginning, starting with you right in the middle of an action sequence, and then when you're interested, then it slows down and gives you his origin.
They make you want to learn about him by jumping straight into the action and flashing back, which I thought worked fantastically.
Yeah, I completely agree. And even the origin story, despite it being much slower paced, it still held the fast-paced feel of the rest of the film.
Yeah, it did. Everything did. And I don't know if that was maybe... There was stuff going on all the time, I think. You know, even in the quieter scenes, there were still laughable moments during those, so that kind of kept you interested and kept it going. I mean, the overarching plot of this, it's that, what I understand is a typical superhero thing of, there's a bad guy, we're going to find the bad guy, at the end of the film we find the bad guy and we win. But again, even if it is just a fairly cliched plot, that's fine for this film.
You can't expect much more from a Marvel film. A Marvel film is a hero film. Hero films follow this formula. They intercut a lot of humour to make it not as boring.
Yeah, they did. And the humour was good. It was a good level of humour, you know. I think there were jokes in there for everybody to get. It kind of worked. And the cinema, people were laughing out loud quite a few times during it. So. Yeah,
and it was a really empty cinema.
Yeah.
And I'm also, they had a few references to other films, other classic films as well, which I found I love that. So I can't really remember much of the middle of this story. Anything from after his origin story to before the climax of the film is kind of a blur to me.
I know what you mean. There was a moment actually during the middle where I thought, we haven't seen Deadpool being Deadpool for quite a while. It was kind of, you know, he was him living his life for a little bit, that sort of thing, or he was wearing the different costumes when he was figuring out what he was. But we didn't see that classic Deadpool character for a good chunk in the middle.
I'll tell you what I did like, the montage of him beating up a bunch of thugs to find out where Francis was.
Yeah, I did like that. And even that with, you know, the board that he stabbed and putting the strings around the drawing pins, that sort of thing, that was very much, look, we're doing this because it's what you do.
Yeah. Thing. I'm glad they took that trope, span it around a little, just to let you have a little chuckle at it.
I don't think you could ever call this plot unpredictable, really. It's kind of, it follows that predictable plot that you would expect, and when there was a moment of, you know, what's going to happen, you usually knew what was going to happen.
You don't go into a hero film looking for a plot that's in the esque of a political thriller. You're looking for a simple plot, but you're looking for an entertainment throughout the plot, and it provided exactly that. Yeah.
So in summary then, I think it was highly entertaining the whole way through, is really the headline of this.
Yeah. I'd give it a rating of, watch it, it's funny, it's a good film, don't pay for IMAX.
No, and I don't think it's something that I would necessarily, I'm not in a rush to go back and see it again.
Yeah.
I might in a few years' time think, oh yeah, I'll watch that again and get a laugh at it, but I'm not thinking, oh, I really wish I could reanalyse what happened during it.
If you're looking for a fun film to watch with your friends, go watch this.
Well, that's it for this episode of Camera B, but we'll be back next week with another film review. Remember, you can find out more by going to h9blogger.com/camera B. You can like this video and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up to date with all our film reviews. Until next time though, bye bye.
Bye.